what separates me from reality? So if it's true what you're saying, friend Marie, if at the ultimate truth, we already are connected to our blissful, happy, joyful, peaceful, secure, safe self, then why doesn't it feel that way, right? So why doesn't it feel that way indeed? And so let's look at it from a different angle and ask what's blocking that truth. What I call it an overlay. What overlay comes to the reality of the present moment? What is happening in this moment as an overlay in my mind that keeps me separate from what is real about me, about the situation, or about others? We start with asking the right questions and being willing to receiving the answers, because the answers can be in front of us, literally, but we cannot recognize that that's what we need if we haven't posted the question. And I've seen this in my own dance career where people would give me feedback about what I needed to progress, to make the next leap to the next level, but I couldn't hear because friend Marie was worried and concerned and thought that something else was going to be the solution. And this is what happens with us in real life. So Conrad, this is a beautiful question. How do I tune into myself? What a lovely way to open the door to receiving the answer to that. So you're not alone. This is the work, and there's so many layers to understanding the answer here. There's so many layers of truth and wisdom around this particular topic. At the highest truth that I have personally discovered after many years of doing this work is that we already are connected to our highest self, our deepest self, our wisest self. Right now in this moment, we already are connected. As impossible as that may sound, it is the truth. Now, it is also true that it may not feel that way. And this is my journey, because I have felt disconnected for so long that I eventually posted the same kind of question. So it is also true. We have to recognize and acknowledge, and that's the key. So many of us go through life without acknowledging how we feel inside in every moment. The moment that we recognize what I feel inside matters. How I feel inside is important to me. True fulfillment and true happiness is actually available to every single person. Once we start to address what it is that inside that disconnects us, why doesn't it feel okay inside? What's actually going on inside? And so that's the real question. So I'm going to propose a slightly different question. So instead of asking, how do I tune in to myself? Instead of asking that, let's shift the angle just slightly and ask, what are the beliefs, perceptions, patterns, habits, deep-rooted ideas or memories or feelings that I hold about myself, about others, about what's happening, that deny the truth, the underlying truth that I'm already connected to my higher self? That's a slightly better way of diving inward into this topic. What separates me from reality? So if it's true what you're saying, friend Marie, if at the ultimate truth, we already are connected to our blissful, happy, joyful, peaceful, secure, safe self, then why doesn't it feel that way, right? So why doesn't it feel that way indeed? And so let's look at it from a different angle and ask what's blocking that truth. What I call it an overlay. What overlay comes to the reality of the present moment? What is happening in this moment as an overlay in my mind that keeps me separate from what is real about me, about the situation, or about others? So that's a way that we can start navigating. What is it that negates that truth about the present moment? And this requires so much awareness and discernment and willingness. It requires willingness and patience. And I'll talk a little bit more about a program that I created to systematically go inward and see these things with ourselves with compassion, with care, with forgiveness. I'll talk a little bit about that in the end. But like I said, there are many layers of realization and understanding to this question. So in order to provide some value, things that you could potentially start looking at, I wanted to share the top 3 layers, overlays that I notice today, even as I do the work. But I have a method to evaluating these overlays and navigating through them, which I'll talk about in the end. But these are the top 3 for me today, and in no particular order. These are the top 3 that came to mind. I'm sure there are more. Number 1, the belief that a future moment would be better than this one. That has caught me so many times. In the past, I can see that. So many successes that I've had in the past as an engineer. I went from aerospace engineering to program management and design, different degrees, different hobbies. So many beautiful achievements. And I can see how I always thought that a future moment would be better than that one. And so I didn't truly enjoy and savor every moment. And so today, part of my work that I focus on now is how do I delight in every moment? How do I savor this instant fully? How do I show up with joy? That's why you see me laughing and smiling when I come up to talk about these difficult topics, which I understand are difficult, but there's another way. There's light at the other side. And that's just that's my experience. And so I come in joyful because I find the joy in the present moment. And at least I try moment by moment to find how can I enjoy this without thinking that something in the future is going to be better. So that's number 1. Number 2, the other thing that I've noticed catches me still is after all these months of silent retreats, after all these years of introspection and meditation, of loving myself, of loving other people, I shouldn't be experiencing negative emotions. And it catches me so often. There's so many stories that I can share about that. And I don't think that I will. Maybe in another video, I'll share some. But it catches me all the time. Wanting to run away from a discomfort, from an internal distress. It's almost like I don't want it there. It's the opposite of accepting what's arising. Accepting the being that's experiencing that emotion and accepting the present moment. It's the complete opposite of that. And so this is why I say this is the work, because it's a lifelong journey and practice to see these patterns and have the tools to navigate through them. So that's number 2. Number 3, the expectations that I've imagined or that I've believed about myself or about others. This is something that was more prominent many years ago. The demands that I would place on people based on the expectations that I had of what a relationship should look like. That was the big major one. What I was expecting to feel after a certain achievement. It's like, well, now I should feel confident and competent, and like expectations that I would place on myself that were very demanding of me and of others. And so that one it's less obvious now, but it's still, I can still find traces of it. So those are top 3 examples of limiting beliefs, ideas, concepts that I've witnessed in my own journey. It's like they come in and it's almost like they color reality of myself, of others, of the present moment. And they kind of like overtake, kind of like they override what's actually happening. And so in one of my videos, I shared that one of the most important realizations I've had is how to relate to myself. It's actually what defines my relationship with life and my relationship with others. And it's because of awareness of these overlays that come in and kind of like hijack the present moment. So I'll leave it at that right now. I want to circle back to asking you, what are some of the patterns that you notice? What disconnect you from yourself, from life, from others, from the present moment? I want to just leave a pause so that you can just see what naturally arises with that. And only you can know what that is. Only you can witness that for yourself. Even though this is an individual journey, we don't have to travel it alone, and we don't have to feel alone. So I encourage you, if you're in this journey, find someone to help you. As I've coached others, I have noticed that people are busy and we need the right information, but we also need the tools to create long-lasting change. Like how to embody the information is more important than the information itself. So what I've done is, now I'm circling back to the program I created. Life gifted me 3 years ago. Life gifted me the opportunity to start coaching other people through this process. So I created a 3-month program where I take people consistently, step by step, forming the habit of understanding, of practicing, of cultivating 4 pillars that I focus on, which you potentially have heard me talk about before. So why these 4 pillars? Because when we create a systematic habit of experiencing the present moment with intention, keeping the breath, just like in yoga, like through every movement, through every moment, when we have awareness of what's going on, when we can accept what's happening inside, and when we can treat that with compassion and forgiveness, and when we can bring ourselves back to balance, then we have the capacity to be in the present moment. And from the present moment, we can make more skillful choices. And if you would like help on cultivating these habits, please go ahead and reach out. This is my passion, it's what I love doing. I'll leave it at this. Please don't forget to comment, share, ask questions, and I'll see you next time.